Mic check, mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. Give me a mic check. How's my audio coming through? Testing, testing. Mic check. Testing, 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 testing. Audio levels look good over here. Good night, Trinidad and Tobago world. Welcome to the Slimy Show. Broadcasting live on the Workers' Right 868 platform. How is my audio? Hold on, my computer just started doing the stuff by itself. Alright, as we usually do, let's start the show with a prayer. You all ready? I'd like you to bow your heads in silence. Let's begin the show.
Reminder of the imperial arrogance that has long treated Caribbean lives as expendable in the name of security. Let us be clear, this is not protection, this is recolonization. Trinidad and Tobago's alignment with US military objectives marks a catastrophic betrayal of the Caribbean consensus that our region must remain a zone of peace. In a single stroke, our leadership has reversed decades of struggle towards regional autonomy, from the Federation dream to the founding principles of CARICOM. By inviting a foreign power with documented history of anti-Black, xenophobic, and extractive aggression into our waters. This government has traded the dignity of the people for the optics of proximity to empire. We must name it for what it is: the sale of sovereignty dressed as diplomacy. What we are witnessing, the invasion of our Caribbean waters, the killing of 32 men on alleged drug boats without due process or evidence, is not justice. It is murder. It is imperial violence dressed up once again in the rhetoric dog whistle of security and war on drugs. Again, let us be clear, this is not about drugs. It is about natural resources. It is about oil. It is about power. The United States, abetted by local collaborators, has long used narratives to justify control over territories rich in natural resources and geostrategic access. Our region has been a pawn in their empire building for centuries. With the apparent complicity now of our own leadership, the cycle continues. To our goodly Prime Minister, I say this: allegiance to empire is not leadership, it is capitulation. It is the mimicry of colonial power masquerading as progress, even as it alienates us from our Caribbean brothers and sisters who continue to insist on peace, independence, and regional self-determination. I write not as a partisan. I have long unsubscribed from our party-led politics, nor do I subscribe to the bankrupt capitalist system that sustains them. I write as a Caribbean socialist, aligned with the unrealized visions of those who imagined freer, fairer, more humane futures for our people. From Claudia Jones to Una Marsan to CLR James to Morris Bishop to Audre Lorde to Sylvia Winter, may they all walk in power. Their work reminds us that another world was always possible even when empire insisted otherwise. What we face now is a moral and ideological crisis, not just of governance, but of imagination. It is time to reclaim both. We must begin to dream again, knowing we do not have all the answers, but still willing to painstakingly envision a brave new hybrid, uncolonized way of being, living and thriving outside of the death-riddled machinery of capitalism and militarism that has never served us. Caribbean sovereignty is not for sale. Caribbean lives are not collateral damage. And peace, true peace, must never be bartered for power. I am taking this public stance for my baby girl so that one day when history measures who stood silent and who spoke, there will be record that I did not sit idly by. However small, inconvenient, maybe terrifying or inconsequential it may seem to some, silence in moments such as these is complicity. So I stand here today for my daughter, for our children, for those not yet born. Let this be on record. I am Abeo Aisha Christabel Jackson, 6th generation American from the lineage of Amphi and Bashana Jackson.
Military ships, the waters, aircraft carriers, all that stuff. But how y'all feeling anyway? I'm in my battle. You see, I'm wearing my battle gear tonight, so be ready for war. Show about TikTok. We're broadcasting on the Workers' Right 868 platform and also on X. Feeling comfortable here. I'm just getting myself situated, getting in the groove. All right, so let's get started. Top stories. The whole January 6th riot. So it came out this week that BBC News, one of the top of the line mainstream media, that sources that we all supposed to trust, Donald Trump's speech. So I'm going to start a whole big what actually happened.
But first, if you thought our national broadcaster here in Australia was bad, spare a thought for our friends in the UK who must fund the outrageously biased BBC.
The BBC claims to be the pinnacle of impartial reporting, but what if there was an internal dossier that revealed that wasn't the case? The Telegraph has seen a letter that reveals one of the BBC's own independent advisors repeatedly warned that the broadcaster had serious and systemic problems. A week before the US election, BBC Panorama released a documentary called Trump: A Second Chance, and in it, they played the following clip.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight We fight like hell.
But Trump didn't, in fact, say this at all.
Out now that he did not say that. It was all a lie. So the whole, everything that happened around January 6 was a big psyop on the people. It was done to make sure that Trump could not get back into office. They really stunk up his name. So this was like a massive psyop, I would say worldwide at this point. You know, with the stuff that came out with the January 6 bomber. It ended up being a cop who's now employed in the CIA. A lot of stuff is coming out with this whole January 6th. It was all fake. The people in the crowd, they were like 254 FBI people in the crowd, amping up and juicing up the people to go into the Capitol. So it was all a whole massive psyop. So one of the points of me highlighting this story to you is you don't trust stuff that's coming out of the media. And I, for the first time, I swear to God, I heard this for the first time and it totally shocked me.
The BBC spliced together.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you. And we fight. We fight like hell.
But Trump didn't, in fact, say this at all. The BBC spliced together two clips that took place 54 minutes apart.
It was powerful reporting by The Telegraph which exposed that taxpayer dollars were funding the doctoring of videos designed to influence people ahead of the election. So what did Trump actually say?
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you.
Now, see there, between Capitol and, that's a cut. Here's what Trump actually said.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
It's different. It wasn't until nearly an hour later that he then said the second part of the BBC's version.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we fight. We fight like hell.
Now, you may disagree with the fact that Trump challenged the election result, but that does not give one of the world's biggest newsrooms the right to doctor footage and change reality. And back here in Australia, our taxpayer-funded ABC does this sort of sleight of hand often. Remember this?
Hello and welcome to Four Corners. Tonight we begin our special three-part investigation into the story of the century, the election of US President Donald Trump and his ties to Russia. Since his inauguration, President Trump has been caught up in a rolling series of allegations. More than a year ago, Special Prosecutor Robert Mueller was appointed to investigate
The thing that we see that's happening in the media right now, it's all psyop. You're not playing. conducted within our waters. Actually the leader of Syria now. He's no longer a terrorist anymore. He's now a good guy. And he met with the President of the United States yesterday in the White House. Take a look at this carefully. And this is the government that your Prime Minister sided with. We got in Port of Spain for the Say No to War campaign. And I want to play you some videos of that meeting. But your Kamala, your Prime Minister said that the event which came out to protest for peace failure. Mocking her citizens for going out for peace.
Was meant to be with God. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God our Creator. Children all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony.
But she got in contact with me too late. But I do intend to have her on this platform sometime in the future.
Freedoms and sovereignty for some shrouded promise of recompense after the dust has settled. We are not safe when a handful of politicians attempt to sell calls for peace as panic. We are not safe when the Caribbean is actively being prepared as a staging ground. We are not safe now, a pariah alienated from our Caribbean brothers and sisters, seemingly standing alone on the very wrong side of history. We say that this is not negotiable. I say this not only as a citizen, not only as a Caribbean millennial Jamet woman, not only as someone grounded in our histories of creative expression as resistance, but as a mother. My child one day must be able to look back at this moment and know that we did not stand silent, that together we stood on record, that we insisted that we deserve better than this and can do better than this. I do not subscribe to the false binaries of our two-party system. I am a Caribbean socialist, aligned with the unfulfilled visions of the women and great thinkers who dreamed this region free. I believe that we can imagine new uncolonized ways of living, new political forms, new empathetic relationships to our land, to our waters, to our ancestors, to each other, that are not authored or enabled by empire. I believe the people of this region already carry that possibility in our bodies, our memory, and our culture. Peace is not passive. Peace is resistance in motion. So this evening, at this vigil for peace, we are not afraid to speak. We are not afraid to say to our government that this support that is supposed to represent all of our interests, absolutely not. Not on our watch. We are not afraid to look at encroaching empire and colonizers and say, absolutely not. Not on our watch. We are not afraid to say to our beloved CARICOM brothers and sisters that we stand resolute on the foundations upon which we built our community and we have not turned our backs. We are not afraid to say to our beloved Venezuelan brothers and sisters that we will not aid and abet in blood being spilt on their soil. We are here in the open air, in the great university of Woodford Square, to say we, the people of Cambule, Jose riots and the Black Power movement, the descendants of Kwame Ture, CLR James, Claudia Jones, Cipriani Butler and Dagger, will not be distracted, numbed or gaslit. We are here to remember the dead unjustly killed. We are here to defend the living. We are here to fight for the future, that the Caribbean must remain a zone of peace and hope. Freedoms and sovereignty for some shrouded promise of recompense. After
We need to have more like her speaking out and to speak on this zone of peace. Areas highlighted in deep blue are international waters. The areas highlighted in light blue are of countries that they surround. So as it shows right here, there is no international waters in the Caribbean, and so by CARICOM and all of the Caribbean countries uniting together, we actually keep this blue line, this light blue line, intact, right? So if the United States was to do any attacks onto Venezuela, they will have to do it from the dark blue area. But guess what? In this zone right here where Trinidad and Tobago is located, where the United States can now come in and land their troops. When everyone said no, by keeping this zone united, we now have a spot right here where the United States can come and violate South America. So when you hear people on these other channels talking about the zone of peace, it is primarily specifically, we don't want military assets in our waters. Of the actions of this government, area located somewhere around here. It came from the Middle East, so I would say it's around this area around here. Venezuela is on high alert.
Chavez lives, my commander-in-chief. It's multiple 05 hours on the 11th of November 2025, and we are currently located within the Inter-Amazon Defense Operational Zone. Ready and alert? After receiving the preparatory order, we are beginning the deployment of territorial defensive actions within the framework of Plan Independencia 200, active resistance and permanent offensive to reach the optimal level of state readiness against the threat of systematic attrition and the air campaign. We are deploying to exercise and unite in order to increase our combat power. We are executing the dispersion and the concentration of the resources and equipment of the territorial defensive system of the Amazonas Zodiac. So in order to evacuate them to the different strategic points protected in order to preserve security and avoid enemy attacks and attacks. Likewise, we secure strategic facilities and establish control of the different directions of approach in order to limit the enemy's advance and thus raise the level of operation.
The program actually put an English voice to this. That was so cool.
Operational readiness of our combatants and ensure the comprehensive defense of the nation. Venezuela is a territory of peace, law, and justice.
Stuff is amping up outside, right outside our territory. With Anil Roberts and Ralph Gonsalves. I hope you get the shit suit out of you. So you now have 3 lawsuits. But I'll talk about it. Reported one of the murders was of this girl, Dari Boss. Was murdered outside of a bar this weekend. Of the shooter. So this person sitting on the chair right here, I assume is the target. Here's Dari, where the mouse is hovering, and this is just a random guy that is sitting. But for some reason in the news, when I actually read this story in the newspapers, it said only one person was killed. But from this video, it looked like the man was hit. Also, but the news didn't report anything about him at all. Uncle killed in violent attack. Rest in peace, your uncle, Michel. State of emergency was supposed to be protecting the citizens of the country. So what exactly is going on? You know, we're being reported in the media that the murder rates is down, the state of emergency is working, TTPS is doing their job. So what is going on with the state of with all these murders that happened over the weekend? There's no resurgence of kidnappings or ransom, even with the kidnapping and murder of Vishnu Lala just last weekend. The government constantly blowing smoke up your ass. The number to call in is 347-791-3311. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Do you feel safer? Everything is fine. Relax. There's no resurgence in anything. More than you was involved in a sex trafficking scheme. Andy did not provide me the video or the slides for it, so I can't present that story to you. So with Lala, a police officer was held. You should not be listening to. We give you a message that's outside the narrative of the government. Stop to all feds at the Brian Lara Stadium, citing persistent complaints from nearby residents about excessive noise. Then the blacks of the country get another blow. One blows, but the other side can have their Diwali and their fireworks and all that stuff. But when it comes to us, it's just too much. You're too noisy. Wide. She wasn't. The alert was sent out like about 3 weeks ago. The an elite, because from what people were saying on social media is she's part of the Sabgas. And they could not administer it to her because there were no doctors. They kicked out the Cuban doctors. when the girl was in need of a doctor, none was available for her. Sadly passed away. So this tragic loss. She wanted to dedicate her life to help people. I'm about to give you another side. This is the slimy take. My question, I'm not going to rehash the whole bullshit story with this guy getting property in Trinidad. I want to focus on the elections that's coming up in St. Vincent and why we have politicians in Trinidad election interference. Mr. Daniel Roberts, instead of doing his job for the people of Trinidad and Tobago, you know, whatever the housing minister does, he's supposed to provide houses for the people, right? Instead of doing that, he took time, hours, money to go try to dig up dirt on Mr. Gonzalez. And through the actions of this Prime Minister over the past few months, it is known, it is in the media, everyone is talking about it, that Trinidad and Tobago wants to break up CARICOM. So, I look, people, one position of St. Vincent complicit with Mr. Roberts into getting this information out here to try to smear the name of the Prime Minister. So you stir up this nonsense 2 weeks before an election, try to stir up a scandal where it may seem like this guy is getting paid off or whatever, and try to get him out of office. Trinidad and Tobago. This morning on social media, where everybody is talking about this bacchanal between Daniel Roberts that's going on in St. Vincent. My question, if the TTPS is to get involved in this, need money transferred to Daniel Roberts to smear this guy? Because now I hear that Daniel Roberts is going to be having 3 lawsuits. Bang, bang, bang. Right? So, why did Daniel Roberts do this? In the live sports scandal. So I think that happened is Mr. Roberts. No, this is a slimy conspiracy theory. I'm just hold on 1 second. Wait. Before I continue. Ladies and gentlemen, how y'all feeling about that? Mr. Roberts is in some hot water again. Of Trinidad and Tobago are supposed to be now focused on corrupt politicians, and I want to bring this back. I want to stop. Focus on the stuff that's been reported, and let's go back to live sports. So after this video is played, I'm going to go over a presentation on live sports. I'm going to read the article in the Express, highlighted Mr. being paid absurd amounts of money in this live sports scandal. I don't care about what Mr. Gonzalez did. I don't care that Mr. Gonzalez has $1 million apartment, which he paid for, which, from what I understood, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago couldn't afford those luxury apartments. So half of the building is empty right now, and he paid the government What's the big deal? On the market. But let's focus on this social media blitz that happened this morning where we're not focused on the warships, we're not focused on Venezuela, we're not focused on war, we're not focused on all of these important topics. Let's just this meddling internal bullshit politics. The Roberts went on to the ground report. We're going to talk about the ground report later. You know, that's the main, that's the highlight. That's why I'm really dressed in my military gear.
Good morning, Andy.
I just want to point
Good
out
morning,
to you
Brian
guys.
Manning. Tell me who's your father. Good morning, Lennox. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, Lennox. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Trinidad. Good morning to Real Media TV. Good morning, Andy Pitbull Williams. Good morning, Brian Manning. Tell me who's your father. Good morning, Lennox. Good morning.
But this man is in office. He is one of the people that's supposed to lead you.
Everybody, good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Lennox and Andy, I want you to press record because I'm going and tell all you exactly how it is. Make sure it's recording. So let's highlight the defamation, the him going into the HTC department he's supposed to lead and digging up these documents and revealing confidential transactions that's supposed to stay private, revealing this to the world in this like, oh, he got this expose here, but what he actually in fact did is he made well, first of all, he should be fired from his job for doing something like this. Number one. Second, he should be investigated by the TTPS for election meddling, election interference. I want to know, Slimy wants to know, me personally, I want to know if any money was passed from the opposition of St. Vincent's to this man to do this. Or was this just something that after the Express did the article on him, he just say, hey, let me bust this mark so I can distract the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Let's get the focus out of me, off of me. Let's get the focus off of the person that's currently in witness protection, that is still in witness protection behind this live sports scandal. Let's not focus on the technicality that got Anel Roberts off. You know, it's a technicality, but yet he's still calling it exoneration. Ladies and
I hope,
citizens of
and I
Trinidad
hope
and Tobago and the
Mr.
Caribbean.
Gonzalez recorded this also and presents this in court. This is all evidence right here.
I have become sick and tired of the boys and girls club that parades and masquerades as CARICOM.
Program. Interview and was trying to smear this and spin up this whole bacchanal with these apartments like it's something big, when we actually should be refocused on the live sport. So I'm gonna have a guest on later on. He knows I'm not based in Trinidad, so this live sports stuff I'm all learning on the fly. I'm actually learning of the corruption / incompetence that happened with this program, which this man envisioned. This was something that he envisioned, right? It was his baby. He imagined the whole system. So how can he, as a minister who is leading this stuff, not be involved and not know what happened in live sports?
into that after, right? Because that's what that's what the people of the country should be talking about.
Over the last 2 years, I have seen CARICOM prime ministers getting involved in the domestic affairs of individual sovereign states. For example, we
except Jamaica, spoke out against Kamala Persad-Bissessar for allowing the United States to base up in Trinidad. You know, the whole zone of peace argument. You know, everybody spoke out, right? So this here is another attempt by the UNC government to put a split into CARICOM and the relationships that in CARICOM by attacking Ralph, hoping they can defeat him from his position, and the next person that comes in most likely maybe of the Kamala Persad-Bissessar regime and the United States.
saw the Prime Minister of Dominica, who, when they have election, plane does land from outside, and Dominica's population is a mere 55,000, but they have 73,000 people on the roll to vote. This man, Roosevelt,
For these claims that he's making.
now I forget his name, but I call him the star boy of stupidity, right? I think it's Roosevelt Skerritt. It's Skerritt, yes. He came to Trinidad and Tobago invited by Rowley when they had a $13.1 million crime as a health issue in Hyatt and so on, and they didn't even procure it properly. They had to come back to the Parliament and the Senate because they broke the law. We were in the midst in 2023 of a local government election, and this star boy of stupidity, the Prime Minister of Dominica, jumped in the fray and tell us, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, that Rowley is really a nice fella. He's fantastic and lovable and so on, as if we care to know what he had to say when we living under the oppression of Rowley as a tyrannical dictator. Then in a press conference, the issue of the kidnapping of Brent Thomas was a heated issue in the CARICOM because a judge, learned just
Badass, dick move, it can go. People that stole money from the country. Were avoided to capture this person. This person actually broke the law, right? A positive for Trinidad and Tobago, right? But I may be talking out of step because I don't know what happened after Brent Thomas was brought back to the country. Did we extract any money from him? So big up to whoever authorized that. That was a big dick move on the part of the government of Trinidad and Tobago to go retrieve a criminal.
Justice Devendra Rampersad had stated that what had taken place involving Trinidad and Tobago Police Service officers, a CARICOM jet, the CARICOM Secretariat, and the sovereign nation of Barbados to allow a CARICOM jet holding Trinidad and Tobago police officers
from the people of Trinidad and Tobago run and hide, spending our money in a hotel, and we're supposed to just sit back and take that? Big up, Rowley. So let's listen to this fake outrage from this corrupt politician. Let's listen to this shit.
Meet Barbados police officials. Go to the hotel room of a paying customer, Brent Thomas, a citizen of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, beat him, drag him out, put him in a cage, and leave him on a hot tarmac.
Well done. Well done. All thieves should be treated like that. You hear me? From the people of Trinidad and Tobago should be left on a hot fucking tarmac in a cage.
Without water and food for 13 and a half hours to return him forcibly to Trinidad and Tobago without a piece of paper, without an extradition warrant, without charge, without due process.
That's some shit that you will hear Russia doing, right? Where Russia will go and do these covert missions and retrieve their citizens. Big dick move. I love that shit. I want to hear more of that. I want to hear more of our criminals being caught and brought back to the country for justice. Why is this man outraged?
That issue was in the air, and Kamala Prasad, the honorable leader of the opposition at the time, was asking questions. How could this happen? Who authorized our officers to go to Barbados? Who asked CARICOM for use of their jet? Who in Barbados responded to who in Trinidad and Tobago to facilitate, assist, and
exercise our power. If someone steals from our country and run, we can go catch you. This should have been like an example to the other criminals in Trinidad. This is not something to be outraged over. This is bravo! Bravo whoever fucking did that. I want to see all criminals brought to fucking justice. Why is there an outrage over this?
Trinidad and Tobago. When asked about this, Roosevelt Skerritt, fast and out of place, Prime Minister of Dominica at the time, said that the opposition is making mischief, that is just politics, and he just went on to attack Kamala Prasad, the CESA, and the UNC, and I said, but what madness is this? Where is his diplomatic credentials, understanding, and knowledge? Who the hell is he? And why is there this affinity and love for Rowley and the PNM? Then Rowley immediately departed and went to Barbados. And up to now, Mia Amor Motley, Honorable Prime Minister of Barbados, has not told the Trinidad and Tobago government, the Trinidad and Tobago people, the CARICOM people, or the people of Barbados who, how, why, where, and when did she, her government, allow a CARICOM jet to land on their tarmac in their country with Trinidad and Tobago police officers to facilitate a kidnapping of a Trinidad and Tobago citizen? So now, fast forward, I am seeing these same Rowleyites, these same CARICOM brethren.
I don't know, I'm just asking questions. So he wants the government to follow the law when it comes to criminals, right?
Including now the Honorable Ralph Gonzalez, who describes himself as 6-star general because he won election 6 times in St. Vincent, attacking Honorable Kamala Prasad Bissessa, the duly elected by a landslide Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, winning a majority of seats on April 28, 2025, based on a platform of safety, security, and providing citizens with the good old days of Trinidad and Tobago without guns and blood flowing in the streets. Kamla Persad-Bissessar living up to her promise made to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, joins with the USA in stamping out narco-terrorism, narco-trafficking, drug trade, gun running, and human trafficking. And the crime rate in Trinidad and Tobago is taking a dip downwards. We need it to go much further. Kamla Persad-Bissessar wants it to go down nearly to zero. She wants to keep us safe. And while she is doing this, up jumps this big belly 6-star general, the man who feels he's a topper from St. Vincent, and attacks my Prime Minister, our Prime Minister, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, in the most vile, undiplomatic, inappropriate manner, calling her misguided and saying that the CARICOM needs statesmen and stateswomen. Like who, Rowley? Like who? The starboy of stupidity from Dominica, Skerrett? Like who? Mia Moore Motley, who cannot even answer a simple question. Who asked her to allow Brent Thomas to be kidnapped on her soil? This Ralph Gonsalves jump in and start to attack the Prime Minister? Well, let me tell you, all you better leave my Prime Minister alone. Because as soon as that happens, I say, there is something, there must be something making this man cling to Rowley. There must be something motivating this human being. Human beings don't just act so passionately with venom without motivation. And lo and behold, this man, Ralph Gonsalves, married to Eloise Gonsalves, a citizen of St. Vincent and Trinidad and Tobago. Her father was Dominican, and her mother was Trinbagonian. And they have 2 children, Storm and Soleil, who have dual citizenship. But this small, tiny family of 4, this family of prestige and elitism that has lived off the largesse of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines for decades, gets the opportunity under the PNM to get 3 houses, not 1 house, not 2 houses, but 3 houses at Victoria Keys. And Keith Christopher Rowley did yesterday jump out to defend his friend, Big Belly 6-star General Ralph Gonsalves. And Keith Rowley made it worse for Ralph Gonsalves, because Keith Rowley said the UNC did Victoria Keys and they raised the prices and the values of those apartments and condominiums to 2.5 to 3.5 million. Yes, but Rowley sold it. Rowley's PNM sold it to Ralph Gonsalves' son for 1.96 million. A profit, an increase in assets of over 1.5, 1.6 million in value. So a discount of 1.6 million. He sold another one to Eloise, his friend Ralph Gonsalves' wife, for 1.625 million. $1 million less than its actual value. And then another one to Soleil Gonsalves. And hear this one. She was a student studying at UE. She worked nowhere at the time. She did not draw her pay. Other people are out